Welcome to another edition of Raya's Power International. Today I'd like to talk about the original HIIT concept. Now, high intensity training or HIIT training is a term that is thrown around a lot these days. However, the origin of this concept lies with the eccentric millionaire and fitness researcher Arthur Jones. Now, Jones invented the Nautilus line of fitness equipment in the 1960s, which featured machines with logarithmic spiral cams that were shaped like the Nautilus sea mollusk. Now, Jones also developed what he termed high-intensity training, which focused on training to muscular failure. Jones sought to determine the exact number of repetitions, the weight, and the amount of time the muscles are under tension in order to maximize muscle fiber recruitment. Jones felt that weight training should be brief, infrequent, and intense. HIIT was considered revolutionary at the time because emphasis was placed on rest and recovery. However, as the trainee became stronger, the poundages were increased to stimulate continued growth. Jones' training formula consisted of a full body workout with a single set per exercise done 3 times per week to failure. Initially, 16 exercises were recommended. Each repetition was executed slowly. Unfortunately, this proved to be too intense for the average gym member. Now, Jones further believed that the eccentric or negative portion of a repetition recruited more muscle fibers than the concentric movement. He even invented a line of equipment called Nautilus Omni that worked muscles in the eccentric part of an exercise. It turned out that a Swedish medical doctor named Gustav Zander developed a similar line of machines in the late 1800s. Now, Jones discovered Zander's work after he had developed Nautilus and not only denied building on Zander's designs, but publicly praised Zander. Mike Mentzer, former Mr. Universe, met Arthur Jones and determined that Jones was not fully applying his own HIIT principles. Mentzer published High-Intensity Training the Mike Mentzer Way in the 1990s. Mentzer believed in performing 3 or 4 exercises each workout with 10 to 12 days of rest between workouts. Now, this proved to be too little exercise to provide results. Mike Mentzer inspired a bodybuilder by the name of Dorian Yates to try this type of training. Now, Yates modified HIIT and went on to win 6 Mr. Olympia titles. He trained 4 days on, 3 days off. Now, each set was for 8 to 12 reps. Now, Yates promotes HIIT training to this day. His much publicized videos capture the incredible pain his students experience as he pushes them beyond what most bodybuilders would consider muscular failure. He emphasizes lifting, holding, and slowly lowering the weight. Now, these are what are referred to as the 3 stages of muscular failure. When a trainee can no longer lift a said weight, the first stage of muscular failure has taken place. The second stage occurs when the trainee can no longer hold the weight. This is called a static hold. And finally, the third stage of muscular failure occurs when the trainee can no longer lower the weight under control. Now, until all 3 stages of an exercise cannot be completed in a controlled manner, a muscle is not considered thoroughly exercised. A muscle cannot be considered thoroughly exhausted. Today's HIIT looks a little bit different from the original concept. In fact, Dr. Ellington Darden, one of Arthur Jones' associates, developed what is known as the new HIIT. Darden's routine calls for 1 set done to failure for 7 to 12 exercises twice per week. Now, Darden stresses that a full body workout reduces the possibility of overtraining. Arthur Jones used to say, split routines make about as much sense as sleeping with one eye open. Well, while HIIT training on Nautilus machines may have worked for professional bodybuilders who modified it, it was a failure when marketed to the average gym member. The average gym member was not motivated to perform with enough intensity to achieve results.
I'd like to thank everybody for watching today's video. I've been power bodybuilding now for 37 years, and I want to share that information with you. So if you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and share with your friends.